I'm a can-do kind of person.
You're the king of can-do.
King of can-do.
It's not quite the king of routine, but it'll do.
Put us together in a formidable force.
We are formidable.
We can do a routine.
Hey everybody, it's John Hamilton here, alongside my good friend and business partner, Mr. Jason Brockman. We're here for another episode of the Big Idea Podcast, where, as always, it is our job to help you get more customers and make more money without working harder. So, without further ado, let's dive straight into this month's episode. Hey everybody, welcome to the May edition of the Big Idea Podcast. So, I was being interviewed for a different podcast last week, and the interviewer had this little throwaway comment that he said to me. He said, "Oh, you're the king of routine, aren't you?"
He's been the king of many things.
I've heard it said before. I mean, I've been accused of many things before, but I thought, actually, I like that, and I'm having that. I am the routine machine, and it got me thinking about most of the success that we've had, and it doesn't tend to come from that big bang moment. It comes from doing the boring, the routine, the crap that like bores you to tears, but works. Mm-hmm. And it comes from doing that routinely, by doing it every, the little stuff that works every day or every week or every month. How many times have we said to someone, you've got a really good piece of marketing here. I said, that's brilliant. You've got the sales letter. It's worked really well for us. Cool. When did you last send it? Oh, I don't know. Right, make it a routine. Let's do it every 6 months, every 9 months. Let's send this sales letter again. We had one of our clients had a fantastic Black Friday. We said to him, right, let's not wait a year for the next one. Let's revisit this campaign. Let's routinely do this campaign. And let's do it 3 times a year. Let's have 3 Black Fridays a year. That's the secret. You go back to when we had our real hockey stick growth with our main sports betting business, which would have been kind of 2013, 2014. Our entire marketing plan was 1 page of A4. And it was just, did this selection win today? Yes. Okay. If so, create this Facebook post. Send this email. Post this on Twitter. If it didn't win, do this instead. And it was just a simple routine. It was 1 sheet of A4 that I could follow on a daily basis every single day. And I called it my daily marketing planner. It wasn't my occasional marketing planner. It wasn't my, I suppose I better think about doing some marketing planner. No, it was a daily plan. Every single day, without fail, I did something to bring in new customers. We're chuckling away because we're looking at Rob, and Rob's like, well, I kind of do that. I will dig out my 1 page marketing plan for you, Rob. You're okay. But I think when you embrace that routine, things like sending emails, posting Facebook updates, recruiting people, collecting email addresses, selling becomes as natural as brushing your teeth does, because you don't have to think about it. It's just routine.
Especially if it kind of works, really. If it's something that's actually working for you and it's worked the last time, it'll work the next time. You might want to tweak it, you might want to do something a little bit different, but actually it's worked. So let's do that again. Let's do it again. Let's do it again.
Yeah. It's not as exciting as the shiny new object.
Actually said, your 1 page. I mean, your routine is pretty much in concrete, isn't it? Your little orange sheet of paper with your days mapped out in front of you. How that's going to pan out. You've got all your bits in there which you're going to do every week. You've got your gym sessions booked in, and all of those sort of things are there, aren't they? Yeah. And all the meetings then get filled in there. All of these podcasts and whatever else, they're all on your sheets. They're all ready to go, so you know exactly what you're kind of doing. So actually, you're very OCD about the routine kind of bit, really.
That's because I'm the king of routine.
I must go in the sauna at night, and I must listen to this, and I've got to take the dog for a walk with and listen to this book, and I must. But it's getting those things done, though. That's the thing. That actually, if you don't have the routine and you kind of have the scattergun kind of approach to anything, then it's not, a few things may hit the target, but actually this way you kind of know that everything's hitting a target as long as it's moving yourself forward.
Do you know who else is good at hitting targets? Greg Norman.
Greg Norman.
World famous golfer.
Oh, okay.
Much like ourselves, we've been playing golf recently, haven't we?
We have, yeah. Your New Year's resolution's going very well. You are playing more golf.
Greg Norman has got me standing on one leg.
Has he?
Mm-hmm. Do you want to know how he's done that?
He asked you nicely?
Well, no, I was reading the interview with him, and one of the questions he was asked was, what weird habits or routines do you have? And he said, when I clean my teeth, I stand on one leg. He said it's a great exercise for the leg, it's a great exercise for the core, really improves your stability and your balance. Now, I remembered reading this years ago with some sports scientist about, the best thing you can do as you start to age is to work on your balance. And the best thing you can do to that is when you brush your teeth, stand on one leg. And I'd fallen out of the habit, the routine of doing that. I thought, actually, that's something I know I can do. So every day now, without having to think about it, because I'm cleaning my teeth anyway, this is lost time that I was otherwise just stood there brushing my teeth. Now I'm stood there. Whoa, hang on, nearly had a bit of a wobble there. I'm having an abs workout. I'm working my glutes. I'm working my quads. And I'm thinking about what a great golfer I'm going to be as a result of this new, easy to implement habit and routine.
Right.
So also, you said about sauna just now. I've tried to implement a brand new routine.
Standing on one leg in the sauna?
No. I've already done that. I've mastered that.
Okay. Stand on your head in the sauna?
I need to floss my teeth more regularly. Okay, because that was something that I did quite often after visiting the dentist. You need to floss more often. Yes, I do, don't I? Right, I'm going to do that. And I did it more often. And then I did it a little bit less often. And then I did it hardly ever. And then I did it when I got a bit of meat stuck in between my teeth. And this needs to become a habit. This needs to become a routine. So every night now, the sauna, every night, that is a routine. So now every night before I get in the sauna, I floss my teeth. It takes me an extra 1 minute per day, but I've just attached what I want to do to something I'm already doing that is already a routine. So I want to improve my balance. I want to improve my core. I want to stand on one leg and get that stability. So I attach that to cleaning my teeth. I want to floss my teeth, so I'm going to attach that to going in the sauna, because I don't want to do it at the same time as brushing. There's all sorts of reasons scientifically behind that. But just easy getting that routine in there. You've already, everyone has already got a routine. It may be a very loose routine, or there may be a few things that they do that are routine, but almost everybody brushes their teeth. Almost everybody gets dressed in the morning. I think Rob is dressed. You're okay there. And it's just really getting those things in. So for me, when I'm planning out the week, all those routines go in the planner first. So we batch all of our meetings for a Monday. So Monday is just like meeting. Gym on Tuesdays and Thursdays, almost always at the same time. Again, it didn't take long for people at the gym to notice that I'm there at the same time every week. It's, oh, you here last time at this time? It's like, yeah, I come every Tuesday at exactly 10:30. It's like, oh, why? Because it's a routine. Because I know I can then plan stuff around it. I know where I am, what I'm doing. Our team huddle, 9:30 every Wednesday. Used to be midday. Somebody had to change that, which messed with our naming of it, something chronic, because we had a nice little Zoom at noon name for it, and now we can't think of a name that works for a 9:30 meeting on a Wednesday.
And needless to say, we still forget about it, so that's all good.
I don't forget because it's here, it's routine, it's in routine.
Yes, that's good. Yep.
Family day every Friday afternoon. Most Friday afternoons. Sarah might be listening to this. We do try and do it, but but that structure of the routine of having the same thing happening at the same time every week, or the same thing doing every single day, that gives me the freedom that I need to actually work around that. So, when I'm having a conversation with someone today and say, right, can we fit this in? Or, if you've got time for a meeting, you've got time for a chat, I can instantly go, have it on Monday, have it on Tuesday, I can do Wednesday morning or Thursday afternoon. Other than that, that's it. My weeks are free. So it's no good whereas a lot of people would say, well, yeah, go on then. I'm free now. And then, that's something else doesn't get done, and then something else gets kicked down the road. The important stuff's in there. That's the scaffolding. That's the framework that everything else fits around. Mm-hmm. Am I free for a meeting? The answer could be no. If someone says to me on Wednesday, and I've already filled my diary for the rest of the week, are you free for a meeting? No, I'm not. Let me look at next week. Mm-hmm. It's about getting those priorities in there. I was reading a book at the weekend, and there's this guy, and he was a Olympic powerlifter, I believe, and he was talking about how important routine was to him. Mm-hmm. And apparently his father had said to him, I know never to die or have my funeral on one of your lifting days because I know you won't be there. That is how important routine is to him, and it's how important it was to me. I remember when I went to an event in London last year, chatting to a few of the attendees there, and we started talking. We were at a restaurant, and we started talking about routine and how whether routine was important to us. And I kind of said, yeah, it's quite important to me. At which point I reached into my bag and pulled out the hotel notebook on which I'd written 7:45 alarm call, 7:55 shower, 8:15 Facebook Live video, 8:40 leave apartment, walk to venue, have coffee. Like morning break time. And it was like 17:35. Walk to Gourmet Burger Kitchen for evening meal. That's where we're sat now. I said, and then I've got to do this, I've got to do that, I've got to have a meeting here, then I'm going to Paddington, then I'm going to Tiverton, then I'm going to drive home here. It's like I'd literally written out your day. My entire day, when all I was doing really was having a jolly in London and going to a conference. But I'd still planned out. I was like, no, I'm going to make the most of this day. How can I squeeze in a Facebook Live? Well, let's schedule it.
I tried doing that for a holiday last year.
It doesn't work with family very well.
Mapped it all out. There were two families going, so I mapped it all out. What we're going to do? I said, here's our itinerary. What? I had the itinerary for it, and they took the mick out of me. Something chronic. But I wasn't like 8:35 or having breakfast. It wasn't that bad, but it was kind of like, actually, we're going to go do this, we're going to have that, we're going to go here. Got travelling time, blah, blah, blah. And I got it all worked out. So I've not done it again since because I was ridiculed. I was.
Gives you the freedom.
Were you ridiculed in GBK with your agenda of the day?
No, I think they were in awe of me. I think they were thinking...
Did you gobsmack them? Oh my gosh.
I think they sat there and went, oh my God. It is, isn't it? That's the king of routine. I am definitely embracing that title, king of routine. I can't remember, I can't decide whether to go for king of routine or routine machine.
When does the lazy entrepreneur become the king of routine?
That's why I'm the lazy entrepreneur.
There's a bit of a slidey there, isn't it?
No, there isn't, because I have that routine. That means that gives me the freedom to be lazy.
Okay.
That gives me the freedom to say I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to have some me time. I'm not going to work beyond 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm going to spend time with the kids. I'm going to take Friday afternoons off. Mm-hmm. That's what enables me to do that. If I just had the complete freedom of the whole week to say what I'm going to do, then I wouldn't be half as effective as I am. The shit I need to get done wouldn't get done, and I wouldn't then have the freedom to be lazy. See? So last month's book of the month was Grit by Angela Duckworth. No relation to Jack. Did I do that joke last month?
I'm not sure. I was going for Vera. Okay. So I thought we'd go Vera this time.
All right. No relation to Vera Duckworth. I really enjoyed this book. I'm guessing you haven't read it.
You good guess. You asked me before we started.
I did.
And I said, no, it's not much of a guess if I've told you the answer, is it?
You're not meant to think that we've actually prepared for this in any way.
Well, that's the only thing you've asked. I've got no other ideas.
So what Angela
give me your
says.
takeaways.
So grit. What is grit? If you had to say what grit was, how would you describe grit?
I'm guessing in the determination kind of way you're thinking, is it actually the desire and actually getting things done and actually keeping on with it and actually seeing things through.
Yeah.
Perseverance.
That's one of the key words. She reckons it's a combination of passion and perseverance. So you love what you do and you're determined to see it through. Mm-hmm. So she kind of says it's multiplied. So it's not passion plus perseverance. It's passion multiplied by perseverance. That's when the real magic happens. That's what keeps you going until things are routine. There's a theme here today, you see. Got a theme to today's podcast.
Very good. You've almost planned this, haven't you?
So I listened to this book primarily as a parent rather than a business owner, because
you do need true grit to get you through parenthood.
you do. I'm determined to persevere.
I'm going to get these
I'm
kids
going to
grown
make
up.
it until they're 18. I'm not going to throttle them. But I mean, Jack, our oldest, we're often teasing him and saying, look, you don't persevere with stuff, you don't stick with stuff. And he's like, I do, I persevere all the time. What, like you did with karate? Well, I did that for a bit. And football, that was the end of term. No, it wasn't, you quit early. Oh, well, I was only 1 week early. What about swimming? No, we've made you do swimming, that's all right. But yeah, I keep saying to him that you need to persevere more, you need to. So I want to know, how do I encourage him to persevere without being that parent? Do you remember there was a character in the Fast show, it was Pushy Dad or something like that, and he was like, unless, you know, you used to remember there was a scene where he was playing cricket, and he's like, no, unless you can get Ian both of them out in one shot, you're no son of mine. I remember having read Andre Agassi's book year before last, I think it was now. He had a very, very pushy dad. It's the reason he was so successful at tennis. So he had that perseverance, but he wasn't actually given a choice as to whether to persevere. He was literally had the rackets taped to his wrists before he was strong enough to hold them. Yeah. And so he didn't have that passion for it. So it's getting that balance right. So Angela says you need to be supportive. You're here to help them. You're there for them. You talk to them. You need to be respectful. So give them freedom to choose certain things, their own, the ability to have their own point of view. I don't really like tennis, Dad. Don't care. Swing. As opposed to, I don't really like tennis, Dad. Okay, that's fair enough. Why don't you like tennis? Yeah, let's have a conversation about that, almost as you would with an adult. But finally, being demanding and saying, look, you can do better than this. I've got very high expectations of you. I expect you to do your best, even though it's hard. And that is perseverance, this is hard, but I'm still going to do it. And the passion multiplied by the perseverance is, I enjoy this, even though it's hard. Even though I struggle at this, I enjoy it. That's when the real magic happens.
So what have you found Jack to do then, that he's going to have that passion and perseverance? Have we found anything yet?
It's finding that thing that actually he wants to persevere with. Golf, that was another one he gave up.
Golf.
I think, yeah.
Golf's a great example of grit, to be fair, isn't it? Because you do have to have a passion to want to go out and do it, but you've also have a lot of perseverance, a lot of practice, and a lot of disappointment.
I think also we played last week, didn't we? And I think a few of my shots ended up in the grit.
That was sand.
Yeah.
Mine were in the lake.
No, I was thinking the bottom of the lake.
Oh, the bottom of the lake. Mine were there.
I mean, good example. So with Harry is a good example, because we went on holiday end of last month, and he's learning to swim, but in my mind, he can actually swim. He just needs to convince himself that he can swim. So I'd obviously just read this book, and so it was in my mind that I needed to be supportive. I needed to be right. Okay, so we had our own pool in the villa there. So I'm out in the middle of the pool. It's beyond his depth, so I'm holding on to him. He's clinging on for dear life now. So I was supportive. I was like, cool, I'm here for you, mate. What are you afraid of? 3, 2, 1. I'm going to sink. I was respectful. It was like, okay, what are you afraid of? I don't want to do this. Okay, why don't you want to do this? And then but then I was demanding. It was like, okay, you are capable of doing this. I know you can do it. I know it's hard. I know you feel that you're not going to be able to breathe and you're not going to be able to make it inside. But look, I am here. Mummy's there. Jack's there. You can hold on to him if you want. Pull him under the water. You can hold on to the side there, the side there, the side there, the side there. You're going to be absolutely fine. And I know you can do it. My expectations of you are here. Your expectations are lower. You don't believe you can do it. I know.
Just under the waterline, yeah.
I know that you can do it. And it was what actually got him to swim in the end was that demanding streak of, I'm not accepting no for an answer here because I know you can do it. And it wasn't just, no, I'm not, you're not going to get to quit, boy. You're just going to do this. It's sink or swim. It was, no, I know you can do this. You've done it before in your lessons, you've done it with the woggle, you've done it with the float. Once the swim teacher actually pretended to tie the float on, so she had the floats on a strap, and one time she did it up, snapped it on, right, off you go then, Harry, and he swam away because he thought he had a float on his back. He didn't have any float at all. So we know he can do it. And it's just giving him that ultimatum of no, and I wasn't accepting no for an answer because it was like literally he was clinging onto me. I was like, right, you are going to swim. I'm going to let go and you're going to swim. And I think once he realised, I can't talk my way out of this one, I'm going to have to do it. Literally I let go and he just did it. He just swam. It's like, cool, told you could do it. And then literally from there, could not stop him. He was just jumping in,
excellent,
swimming, playing fetch, the whole lot. And he was so proud of himself, but he was lacking that little bit of perseverance. So he had the passion for it. I think he enjoyed it, but as soon as he found it hard, it's like, oh, I'll stop now because it's hard. And it's just nudging through that to say, no, you're going to do this even though it's hard. And it's not saying this isn't hard, this is easy. It's saying, no, this is hard, but you're capable of doing hard things, and this is just one more hard thing that you're going to do. So next month's book of the month is someone who I would say has tremendous grit, tremendous determination, and he's certainly no stranger to doing hard things. Who are you thinking?
Is he out of this world?
He will be very soon.
Will be soon.
He's planning on being it. It is, of course, Elon Musk, the famous PayPal founder, Tesla creator, and SpaceX. He's going to take us to Mars. And I firmly believe that. So this is his biography. It's by somebody called Ashley Vance. I believe it's an official biography. And I think it's a chance for us to get inspired by a man who
doesn't say it's not possible.
Yeah. I mean, I just
doesn't say that as an excuse.
I remember as a kid thinking about space travel. The moon was our limit, wasn't it? We could not go anywhere else because by the time you got to the nearest planet, Mars, the average human would have died because it's going to take you 1,000 odd years to get there. Or whatever, numbers may not be accurate. But I certainly remember thinking, oh well, that's our limit. We will never get to Mars because humans are not capable of that. And Elon Musk has just gone, why the hell not? And he was a man who, I don't want to give away too much of the book, I haven't actually read the book yet, but here's a man who knew nothing about space travel. He knew nothing about rocket propulsion. He was a banker, by all accounts, for PayPal. Made a shed load of money and thought, right, what I'm going to do then is I'm going to read every book I can find on space travel, on building rockets, and then I'm going to make notes on the discrepancies, where they agree, where they disagree, and then I'm going to try and get these people in a room and talk to them and figure out, and eventually I will be the world's most knowledgeable person about this because I've read every book and I'll have talked one-to-one with every expert. Therefore, making me the primary expert in global space travel. Who the hell thinks like that? Not normal people.
No.
So I'm recommending this book as the book of the month, not for people to emulate him. I'm not saying let's all go and gamble massively the way that Elon Musk has. Let's not, go with these massive projects. But I reckon once I've read this book, I will just be thinking a little bit bigger and a little bit more long term. I'm not going to be perhaps thinking about the next 12 months so much, but maybe thinking, what is possible in a decade? What could I achieve in a decade if I can routinely do the right things to keep nudging me towards that goal that at the moment looks as ridiculous as if you were to step back in time to 2008 and say, we're going to be planning global space travel for everyone. We're all going to go into space. Humans are going to travel and possibly colonize Mars, and we're going to have self-driving cars on the road. Don't be so stupid. Oh, and by the way, one man's going to do all of that.
And we're all talking 10 years, aren't we?
Yeah.
Talking 20 years, and we've got mobile phones that are like computers sat in your pocket. So it's not an awful long time, is it?
It's not.
It's increasing the can-do attitude. I like a can-do attitude. I'm a can-do kind of person.
You're the king of candy.
King of can-do.
It's not quite the king of routine, but it'll do.
Put us together in a formidable force.
We are formidable.
We can do a routine.
We've done a few routines now, haven't we? So, bonus book of the month. Not an official recommendation for book of the month, but it's a book I'm reading at the moment, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. It's called Extreme Ownership. Mm-hmm. It's by Jocko, Willink and Leif Babin. Leif Babin is a fantastic guy. I'm listening to the audiobook, and he sounds just like Batman. He has got the world's most gravelly voice.
I'm Batman.
Yeah, it's just like that, but actually like narrating. Basically, Jocko and Leif are...
Extreme Ownership.
No, that's the guy that announces the trailers. Coming soon to a theatre near you.
Kapow.
They are US Navy SEALs, or former US Navy SEALs, and now they teach leadership and skills that they learnt out in Iraq and Iran, apparently. Sponsored by Steve Jobs, I believe. All about leadership and how to actually create better organisations. So now the reason I've done this is because we're hiring an MD for one of our businesses at the moment, and we're looking at what qualities are we looking for in somebody to lead our businesses. Now, we've only ever led our own businesses, so we are the leaders that have led those at them, and now we're looking for someone better than us. Shouldn't be difficult.
Bar's not very high.
No. But we need to know what we're looking for, what qualities should we do. So a couple of things that have come up for leadership really can make all the difference. And there's a great story that I think it was Jocko tells in one of the chapters about training to become a Navy SEAL. And there's this thing called Hell Week, which is where they basically beast you and try and break you. And, of the 200 people that start Hell Week, 7 are left by the end of the week. It is literally separates the men from the boys. And as part of that, they had a boat race, and it's basically teams of say 8 have to run down to the shore, grab the boat, run with the boat off to the start of the water, row out to somewhere, collect a flag, bring it back, pick up the boat, run half a mile up the beach to the finish line, and that's it. It's kind of a race. 6 teams of 8, I think it was, and every single time they found that like boat team number 2 would win and boat team number 6 would lose, and the others were kind of intermingled at time, but every time boat team 2 were well out in front, boat team 6 were always last. And so what they did is they got the leaders of boat teams 2 and 6 come report, right, you guys are swapping. So boat team 6 leader, you're now leading boat team 2. Boat team 2 leader, you're now leading boat team 6. And they went out and they raced, and they thought, well, so what happened previously was boat team 6 leader went, well, the reason we haven't won, or the reason we've come last, it's my team. They're just awful. They don't work together as a team. They don't talk to each other. They're just not very good. The other leaders were lucky because they got a good team. I got the worst team. Someone's got to have the worst team, and it was just luck of the draw that I, as leader, got the worst team. And boat team 2's leader was obviously, well, it's my great leadership that's caused this. That's why they're winning. Or perhaps I've got a good team. So they swapped them and find out how they did. So boat team 2, under their new leadership.
Are you going to do any spoilers in amongst this story? It's a great story.
I'm going to give you the results.
Are you?
Yeah.
That's going to be a spoiler.
Right, spoiler alert. I'm going to give you the results.
Sorry.
Boat team 2,
Yep.
who'd won every previous race, now had the worst leader, or the leader of the worst team, leading them. And they finished 2nd. So they still did quite well. Boat team 6, every single time the worst team then had leader of boat team 2 in charge of them, and they won by a county mile. So the worst team became the best team, and the only thing that changed was the person in charge, the leader giving out the orders. And so that shows you what a difference leadership actually makes to a team, because all of a sudden that team of individuals, and they were a team of individuals in Team 6, suddenly became a team. And obviously then they had a leader they respected, because he was able to come and say, well, I've won the previous 5 races, so right guys, I know what we need to do. You do this, you do that, you do it right. If he's struggling, then you cover him, and boom, right, let's do it, we can do this. And they believed that they could do it because the leader was telling him, whereas the previous leader was like, well, you guys are rubbish, so let's just try not to be last, eh? Interestingly, the worst leader went to the best team, and they still finished second. So their performance didn't really deteriorate that badly, because these 2 teams were head and shoulders above all the other teams. So what happened there? And they said, well, actually what happened was the leadership that was instilled in the best team remained. They still worked together as a team. They still knew what to do, despite having crap leadership. Because they had good leadership, they still had all the routines. They still knew what to do, and they could pretty much put out a good time and almost win that race without the leader. So they kind of did it despite that. And one of the things I took from that is that the best thing, and the reason it's called extreme ownership, one of the best things a good leader does is accept total ownership of all the problems. So we had a question posted in AOB last week, a week before, about hiring staff, and it attracted a comment which really...
Shall I? Yes, on Facebook. It's on Facebook, isn't it?
AOB
is on Facebook, isn't it? bigidea.co.uk/Facebook. And the lady there wanted to know whether or not she was better off hiring staff or taking somebody who was self-employed on instead. So was it better to hire or better to take a contract in?
Kind of outsource.
Yeah.
And there was a comment which really sort of stood out as a beacon amongst all the other, because lots of people said, well, actually, my experience is I prefer to have in-house staff for this reason, or I like outsourcing because it gives you the freedom, the flexibility, blah, blah. And one person said, don't hire anyone.
Do it yourself.
You always get let down. Employing staff is a nightmare. The system screws you as an employer. The system doesn't favour you as a small business. I wouldn't hire anybody. I would try and do it all yourself. Now, clearly that person's had a bad experience with staff at some point in his or her business career. So whose fault is that? Well, if you listen to the words that he's actually said, it's clearly every member of staff he's ever had. You always get let down. So all staff let you down.
Yep.
The system screws you as an employer, so it's the system's fault. The system doesn't favour you as a small business, so it's the government's fault. Who is the only person in all those statements who was blameless? Well, that was him. He was the only person who was completely without reproach. It was not his fault. No. It was the staff member's fault. It was the system's fault. It was the government's fault. Not my fault, though. Nothing to do with me. There's a really, really good example that Jocko and Leif, it's spelled Leif, but it's Leif, use in the book about an encounter which what they call a blue on blue, what we would know as friendly fire. So they had a team that was holed up in a particular building in Iraq, and this other team of Marines went in to storm the building to free them, and it turned out that they were actually shooting on the house that these other people were in, and I think there was one casualty, so one of the Iraqi soldiers they were with died, and there was a couple of wounds as well. So afterwards, clearly there's a bit of a discussion about what happened, what went wrong, why did this happen. So Jocko goes in, and first thing he says, right, whose fault is this? And someone said, well, actually, sir, I fired the first shot, so I'm going to accept responsibility for that. Negative, not your fault. He said, someone else said, well, I didn't clearly identify myself as friendly forces, so, perhaps it was my fault. Nope, wasn't your fault. Whose fault was it? And eventually says, I didn't radio through at the time when I was meant to. Okay, no, you didn't. It's not your fault. Whose fault is it? And eventually there was like a complete silence. And we're like, well, everyone had done the I'm Spartacus moment. It's like, well, it must be my fault then. No, it's not your fault. Well, it must be my fault. No, it's not my fault. Mm-hmm. Come on, whose fault is it? Don't know, sir. Okay, it's my fault. I'm your commander. You didn't radio through in time. There's a reason you didn't radio through in time. It's because I didn't stress to you how important it is that you radio through in time. You fired the first shot. Well, you fired the first shot because you were following protocol. That was protocol set by me. So if you want to know who's to blame for that bloke being dead, for you having a graze in your arm, for you being sent home, I'm to blame. Because I take extreme ownership. It's all my fault. Everything is my fault. I'm the leader. Mm-hmm. So if something goes wrong, it's on me. And it's really, really interesting to see, because they talk a lot about the parallels between, obviously, the Navy SEALs career and what they've done in business. And to see something's gone wrong, we haven't hit our targets this year. Oh, why not? Well, because Dave in sales hasn't been pulling his weight properly. Mm-hmm. Whose fault is that? Well, it's Dave's fault. Did you not hear me? Dave hasn't been hitting his targets, yeah. So it's Dave's fault. Well, why hasn't been Dave hitting his targets? Well, I don't know. Oh, actually, his line manager hasn't been pushing him hard enough, so it's his line manager's fault. Okay. Who does his line manager report to? Me. Cool. It's your fault. And it's just that accepting that if you're the leader, everything is your fault. Mm-hmm. If you are the business owner, if you are the entrepreneur, if you are the head honcho, everything that goes right in your business, everything that goes wrong in your business is your fault. Doesn't matter if, the agency that we used turned out to be a bunch of charlatans. Cool. Who hired them? You did. Right. Who monitored them? Oh, nobody. Why did nobody monitor them? Because you were meant to. Your fault. Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter. We had a bad member of staff and they stole from the till. Your fault. Don't blame the member of staff. Mm. It's your fault. And I'm really enjoying the book, and I just think if I can leave you with one comment on there, it is that absolutely everything that happens in your business is your fault. On that happy note,
what did you think for the lady then? Do you think she should hire somebody, or do you think she should take somebody in self-employed contract?
Well, the answer is, of course, it depends.
It depends. It absolutely does. Depends on what the...
we've done both, and both have pros and cons, and it's what fits for you and your business. Mm-hmm. It's all your fault. It's always my fault.
I am the Spartacus. I do take responsibility for absolutely everything, even though I'm the most irresponsible part of the team.
And if you do fancy a book, then Extreme Ownership by Badman. It's a good one to do.
Very good.
Fantastic. Have a great May, everybody, and we will see you next month for another edition of the Big Idea Podcast. Good. See you later. Bye-bye. So there we are, another episode in the can. How was it for you? Please let us know. How do you listen to these podcasts? Please leave a review on that platform. Let us know what we can do better, what you like, what you don't like, and how we can improve to make this show even better for you. We'll see you next time.